Do you like apples?
He's been a genius from Southie in Good Will Hunting.
How do you like them apples?
An assassin with amnesia and a brand new conscience in the Bourne trilogy. And a contemptibly crooked cop in The Departed.
I tipped you off, and you're not in jail.
But to hear Matt Damon tell it, his most compelling role is bringing water and toilets to impoverished villages in developing nations. This isn't just to improve their lives, it's to save them. It's particularly crucial for the young. Water and sanitation issues kill children around the world at a rate equivalent to a jumbo jet crashing every 4 hours.
Let's go meta for a second, because you attaching yourself to this means I will be sitting here interviewing you, talking about an issue I probably wouldn't, and people at home, viewers, will be paying attention to an issue that they wouldn't otherwise pay attention to.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, that's obviously the small part I bring, you know, to Gary's just incredible expertise.
Damon is the co-founder of Water.org. His partner, Gary White, is one of the world's foremost experts in the field.
I was really looking for the expert in the space, and when I couldn't get that guy, no.
You know, I think we complement each other, and we, you know, Matt certainly has come a long way in water, not so much for me in acting.
Why water? You're involved in a lot of different groups. We counted at least 30.
Really?
Believe it or not. But water
Does that include like the Handsome Men's Club with Jimmy Kimmel? Or?
No, real organizations, actual organization.
Damon's lent his time and money to organizations that work to end AIDS, hunger, poverty, and even junk mail.
This is the one that seems to...
This is the one that,
yeah.
This is what I spend all my time on. I just was shocked by how massive water was. Water and sanitation, water really kind of underpins everything.
Worldwide, more than 750 million people live without potable water, making them susceptible to disease. Since 2009, Water.org has helped communities connect to clean water supplies through wells and microloans. The founders say their approach isn't just charity, but a sustainable solution.
Tell me about the water credit. How does it work?
So if you're in a slum in India, you might be spending hours every day walking to a public tap, waiting in line. The water's sometimes there, sometimes it's not. You might be paying the water mafia, which is basically these people who come around and sell you 20 liters of water for a pretty high price.
If you could actually just front them the money to connect to the municipality that was piping water right underneath their feet, so that you'd give them their time back so they could work at their job and pay the loan off.
CNN traveled with Damon and White to India, where they checked in to see how their water credit loans are working.
When Matt and I were in India, we met a woman who was paying 40 rupees every day for her family to go use the public toilet. They had to pay a fee, and to go and purchase the water that they needed. So with her, in her situation, she was able to get a water credit loan. That allowed her to pay her connection fee to get connected to the utility and have a faucet in her home. She'll come out way ahead.
I've interviewed George Clooney about Sudan and Ben Affleck about Eastern Congo. Now I'm interviewing you about water in the developing nation. Was there some meeting where you all decided you were going to take on causes that were things that were not getting much coverage, that the American people did not know much about? Did you decide to go as...
There was never like a meeting or anything, or you take this, I'll take that. I think it was, there are a lot of us who think similarly about these issues and just connected personally to different ones.
I'm not trying to be funny about it, but did you try to find the single least sexy cause that you could?
I wasn't trying to do that. I think what we were saying before, and what you have to keep in mind, is it's not just water, it's also toilets.
1.1 billion world citizens still practice open defecation due to lack of sanitary facilities, and the resulting disease kills millions each year. Now, this isn't a glamorous topic to discuss at Hollywood fundraisers, but Matt Damon has not shied away.
Until everybody has access to clean water and sanitation, I will not go to the bathroom.
Earlier this year, he launched a spoof campaign with fellow celebrities to bring attention to preventable disease and sanitation issues.
We won't go to the bathroom.
We won't go to the bathroom.
We won't go to the bathroom.
When we would speak about this issue, it would go up on YouTube and it would get like 3 hits, and it was that was after me and Gary watched it. Right, exactly. Right. So we went, okay, well, this isn't really working. Whereas like some of the viral stuff that I've done gets millions of hits. If you can get somebody laughing about something, they can also dive down a little bit on the complexity of this issue, then we're really getting something done.
Damon's big on getting things done. In 2011, the activist made political headlines when he told Elle magazine he was disappointed with President Obama, saying he preferred a, quote, president with some balls, who actually got stuff done. Damon's comments did not go unnoticed.
Matt Damon said he was disappointed in my performance. Well, Matt, I just saw the Adjustment Bureau, so right back at you, buddy.
I like that movie. I thought that was a perfectly The Adjustment Bureau.
I hope he did too.
I don't even think he saw it. I'll be honest.
Well, he wouldn't be alone.
Now, sure, his fame brings needed attention to Damon's causes, but that spotlight highlights his comments for naysayers as well.
When it comes to getting involved in issues, and you're involved in a lot, you've spoken out about teachers' unions and public school. You've spoken out about your disappointment with President Obama. Inevitably, you have critics.
People really blew that up when I said that, and in some cases, I've been unfairly. I've kind of chosen my words poorly when talking about him. You know, look, the truth is, you know, I voted for him twice. I campaigned for him. It's humbling to think about that job and how hard it is, particularly in the headwinds that he faces, the kind of historic headwinds that he's facing. I really wish him well, particularly right now.
Do you find it difficult to deal with the criticism, though? I mean, it comes with the territory if you're going to become an activist like this, but I just...
Yeah, I think if you put a megaphone out and say something, then it's within any American's right to say something back to you. So that's why, you know, when I speak out about something like public education, I mean, it really means a lot to me. But it's also why I'm particularly happy that, you know, I spend all my free time working with water.org. One of the things I love about it so much is that it's totally nonpartisan.
Of course, on Tuesday, that's World Toilet Day, and that's one of the reasons why Damon did this interview with us, to bring attention to that day. If you want to see more of my interview with Matt Damon, including some backlash from the Bush family, check out our website, cnn.com/thelead, and the program again, the charity is called water.org.